Friday with Beer, E3 2021 edition. So it's tea time, obviously. So interestingly enough, I actually did a live stream on Tuesday that ended up only going to Twitch because for some reason my YouTube account desynced with Restream. And it wouldn't come back online. It's actually only just come back on today. And then I've gone into Restream and they've redone their whole layout. So I'm curious as to what happened. I wonder if anybody else had the same problem. But anyway, I'm back. How you doing? If you're in the chat room, please say hello. Actually, I don't even know where I can figure out how many people are viewing. This is interesting. Very, very strange. Trying to get used to this. Anyway, oh, right. It's right there. And nobody's viewing, which is, oh, Milky is in the house. Good. Nice to see you. So at least I know I'm kicking it on Twitch right now. And I should be kicking it on the old other one, YouTube. So truncated show today because I have to be out of here by 2:55 p.m. because I have a meeting. Nothing I could reschedule, I'm afraid. Kind of important, you know, other life type thing. So anyway, hope everybody's good. Hope everybody enjoyed E3. And what an interesting E3 it was. Very fragmented. Now I know I rag on the ESA like crazy over and over. In fact, I give those guys such a kicking. And I got to say, I think they did a good job considering everything, considering that, you know, we have to pivot to this virtual thing, considering people are wondering what the hell's happening with E3 anyway moving forward. I thought it was interesting. I liked their portal, didn't have any problems with getting in as a fan. Really didn't explore very much about the various different options that you can have. You can create your own avatar and all that fun stuff that is no interest to me whatsoever. I don't really want to interact with people while I'm watching a live stream. The one thing that did piss me off, though, and it's not an E3 ESA issue, it's who they used as their streaming provider, or one of their streaming providers that I kind of defaulted to. So watching here on my big PC, the E3 stream, and I get a screenshot up that says, oh, your ad blocker is stopping this working, so you really should go to Twitch TV to watch the official stream. And I was like, the fuck? And you can see it on my Twitter stream, I think, from last Sunday, either Saturday or Sunday. And I was like, what the fuck? And so I tweeted it out, obviously, which is why you can see it on my Twitter stream. And I got a back channel response from somebody who is in the know. And they said that it was basically an ad that Twitch was putting in to encourage people to move to the E3 stream. They weren't the E3 people weren't happy about it because it was encouraging people to dump the E3 browser and go to Twitch. And I'm not happy about it either. I'm not happy about Twitch in general. In fact, I'm an inch away from 86ing Twitch and just going straight to YouTube from now on. I know it's going to suck for the 300 or so people who follow me on Twitch, and I'm sorry, but I'm really beginning to not like Twitch very much. I think their practices are not nice. I do appreciate that they run a service, but I do think that their tools are not great. I don't really like how they're managing to pump ads and everything else out. And I mean, I've been doing this now for pretty much 6 months, and, you know, slowly building up, and there's been subs and everything, but I've not made enough money on Twitch to justify a payout, and their payout limit is $100. It just goes to show that while they are the behemoth, and look, YouTube isn't exactly great either, but unfortunately, there's not much I can do right now. So yeah, I might actually be stepping away from Twitch and deleting that account moving forward, and just sticking with YouTube, which is going to be easy. I don't have to go through Restream. I can just, which I love, by the way. Restream have been great, but I can go straight to YouTube. Anyway, let's talk. We have several people in. How's it going, Zach, Pavel, D Nightwalker, Joseph? I mean, I'm obviously coming to you 10 minutes after the end of the England-Scotland game at Euro 2020, which is Euro 2021. But hey, apparently they couldn't afford to change the branding. And oh, that was fun. I got to say, congratulations to Scotland, because I thought you were the better team. England had a couple of really good chances in the first half, but I thought Scotland could have nicked it. They really could. Well, either team could have nicked it, but I think Scotland deserved it more than England, to be honest with you. I may be biased. I mean, I'm not normally biased against the England soccer team. It's the rugby team I can't stand. So, yes, I mean, obviously, we're talking about Euro 2021. My boys, Wales, saw off the Turks after an uninspiring draw against the Swiss. So we are second in the group behind Italy. We play Italy, I believe, on Sunday. And if we don't, if we can nick a point, we're definitely through to the next round. If we can win, we win the group, which would be unbelievable. So here's hoping Italy put up their under-20 side. But even if we don't win and we lose, as long as it's not a shellacking, we should be good. And it'd be nice to get into the next round again. So, yes, I'm delighted with Wales. I thought it was a great performance from them the other day. Could have won by, honestly, 4. Gareth Bale missing a penalty. Aaron Ramsey having a couple of chances. Could have been. I was disappointed in Turkey. Disappointed and surprised. Because they're a class team. They've just been having a rough time of it. With Sword and a Gun is asking, it seems crazy to me that a professional soccer player had a cardiac event on the pitch. Can't remember if this was discussed on the stream. It was briefly discussed the other day, but Christian Eriksen, amazing player, Danish player, plays for one of the Milan clubs now, Inter, I think it is. And he transferred from Tottenham. He was a player I would love to have seen at Liverpool a couple of years ago, but he was playing against Finland, and he had a heart attack on the pitch, keeled over, was gone. 9 minutes he was down. Luckily, he was saved because the medics were there. The teammates knew that something was was up. They started doing CPR on him. They got a defib on. They got him. He's been discharged from hospital as of today. In fact, they've implanted a mini defib kind of pacemaker type thing in his chest because he has an irregular rhythm. It was definitely a flashback, sort of like triggering moment, because it's kind of the same thing that happened to me. And luckily he had people around who could save his life, like I did. If my wife hadn't been here, I'd be dead. And this is where I'm going to do my continual plea to you. If you haven't learned CPR, please do. Because CPR is the difference between life and death. If you can get to somebody in the first minute or 90 seconds, get CPR going, get the chest compressions going and the breaths, you can save a life. My wife saved my life. She kept me going until the paramedics took over. Just like the medics on the field took care of Christian Eriksen until the full paramedic team turned up. So yes, I'm glad he's okay. It'll be interesting to see how his career goes after this. He won't play again probably for a year. So the next season is out, and he's 29 now, so he'll be 30, 31. It'll be interesting how that goes, but I'm glad he's alive. Wish him nothing but a speedy recovery. He's a classy player. Anybody who has the slightest inclination, please go learn CPR. The life you save, you make such a difference. Millions of people around the world die from heart attacks and heart disease and various other issues because they didn't have somebody there in that first 2 minutes. Being alone and dying like that, I mean, not everybody has to die from a heart attack. Let's talk about E3. E3 happened this week. It came, it went. Like I said, the Twitch issue. All right. Let's kick off with Microsoft, because as if you're just joining, this is a truncated show. I have to run in precisely 50 minutes to go to a meeting. So Microsoft came out, said, hello, we're Microsoft. This is who we've been buying for the last couple of years, and this is why. Starfield. They showed off Forza. They showed off Halo Infinite that's coming this year. They announced the new Vampire co-op RPG from Bethesda. They had slew upon slew upon slew of games. let's go through this, shall we? Redfall, that was the game. That looked really cool. Kind of Left 4 Dead-y, but with vampires. Forza Horizon 5 looked amazing, and I don't even like driving games. Microsoft Flight Simulator Top Gun tie-in. What the hell? Totally random. The Outer Worlds 2, coolest trailer of all. I mean, Outer Worlds, I love the first one. Outer Worlds 2, I will love the second one because I adore Obsidian as a storytelling RPG action game developer. But yeah, the Outer Worlds 2 trailer was just so fun. It was just self-deprecating, and that's up my alley. I've got that strange sense of humor. The Replaced game kind of surprised me. I liked it. I mean, this whole sort of like pixely, cyberpunky, noir, sci-fi action platforming. It took me back to the days of the Sega Genesis or Sega Mega Drive, if you are from Europe, like what I is. And it just reminded me of flashback that game. Another World. Yeah, I just liked it. I'm in. Atomic Heart, one of two Russian-esque action shooty, story-driven FPS type games. The other one being Stalker 2. Both looked really gorgeous. Both look really interesting. Both look right up my alley. Anybody who tells you that single-player games are dead, any developer who says that single-player games are dead and everybody should only focus on multiplayer, they're fucking idiots. Because this E3 showed that, yes, you can have your multiplayer, but without single-player, gaming is a hollow experience. And look, I'm not belittling multiplayer. So many people get in, they play their games, Call of Duty, they play Fortnite, PUBG, whatever, and they have their fun, and that's great. But there will always be a huge swath of the population who don't want to go online, who don't want to deal with the bullshit, who don't want to deal with getting their asses kicked over and over. People like me who want something that's an interactive, story-driven experience, which is why Atomic Heart and Stalker and Starfield and so many other titles will always find their place in on my hard drive, in my games collection, and taking money out of my wallet. And as long as we have those games, I will be playing games because that's what it's all about to me. I grew up where you didn't have multiplayer. And it was fantastic. I was in my own world. I loved it. I don't need other people. The occasional multiplayer is fine. Back 4 Blood. Ooh, that looks tasty. Great. Come October, I'll be there. Shredders, snowboarding game. As I said before, on I think it was Tuesday, SSX Tricky was the pinnacle for me because it was one of the first funnest snowboarding games, and it had Run DMC in it. Diablo 2 Resurrected. I don't see the point of this one. Watched the trailer. Yes, it's up-resed, but it still looks janky AF. I'd rather have seen Diablo 4. Halo Infinite. The multiplayer is coming free to everybody, and then the actual meat of the game, the single-player experience, that's going to be out on Games Pass this holiday season. Hades is coming to Game Pass. If you haven't played Hades, you should. It's fun. Psychonauts 2. Psychonauts 2 look cool. Really did like Psychonauts 2. I'm looking forward to that one. And then we saw The Sea of Thieves, Pirate's Life. That had traction with me because obviously this time last week I was actually at Disneyland, and we, a week ago yesterday, we were on Pirates of the Caribbean, or Caribbean. And so, yeah, this makes sense. Might even give Sea of Thieves another try. Who knows? Contraband, sign me up. Avalanche Studios, I like their stuff. Those guys are insane. Trailer looks great. Co-op-y, heisty action. That's the sort of game I can handle. I won't drop into death matches over and over, but give me some co-op action, and I'm your big fat Welshman. Oh, sorry, I'm just running through this list. And then obviously Starfield. Todd Howard came out, talked about the game, didn't give away too much. We had a little bit of the trailer, or we had a cinematic trailer. He's come out since. He said it's a Star Wars-esque experience in that you play Han Solo, you're going to have robot companions. Then he said it's Skyrim in space, where you get to fly things as well. So look, I have faith. I know the man is a great game designer, and and his team execute really well. anybody who said that it was coming out this year was woefully optimistic. It's always going to come out next year at the very, very earliest. And now we know it'll be out next November. Looking forward to it. We'll hear more about it next E3. Sign me up. We'll be good. Do go. So yeah, Microsoft came out, and Microsoft, they delivered. There was no faff there. No faff. No, do you remember the days when the Microsoft press conference was talking about the vision for Xbox is a set-top box where you have Connect and you can turn your cable box in and blah, 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 blah. And that all got replaced by an Amazon Fire Stick or a smart TV or whatever. This time round, it was, here's our games, here's our games, here's our games. All available on Games Pass day one. What? And I think they just did brilliantly well. For me, pound for pound, dollar for dollar, Microsoft's Xbox currently is the best value of any of the new gen consoles. I'm not dissing the PlayStation. The PlayStation is still and always will be the sexier brand. PlayStation's sexy. I mean, it just is. They have the great exclusives, but they are few and far between. It's basically the really fancy sports car you keep in the garage and then you bring out for a spin every other weekend, whenever you feel the weather's nice and you want to go out and you want to show off. That's what your PS5 is going to be, unless Sony get their whole, Games Pass equivalent sorted and stop taking one step forward and half a mile back. Microsoft is going to be the fun muscle car that you can also take to the shops. It's going to be the Dodge Challenger, whatever you want to call it, or the Audi TT maybe. It's still going to be sexy, but it's going to have a buttload of content. And that's the thing with, $10 a month or whatever it is for the Games Pass. That's $120 a year. That's 2 full price games on a new gen console. You got to admit, even the most diehard Sony fan has got to admit that's value for money. And there is now a case for both. There is a case for both because you can have a bunch of stuff exclusive on one, exclusive on the other. You won't shell out as much on PlayStation games, perhaps, or as frequently as on PlayStation games as you would on the Xbox. And then Xbox is just dropping new shit every month. It's basically Netflix. It's going to be Netflix for video games. And I did say this earlier in the week, and I'm going to say it again. I think we have at most one generation left after this console-wise with Microsoft in particular. Then it's going to be streaming. Then it's going to be Games Pass in a smart TV. You'll buy the controller or whatever. It will Bluetooth up, and that's it. Goodbye console, because they don't need to make the console. The consoles are expensive. The consoles are hard to get. Once you take that out of the equation, because they are loss leaders, they make money in the software. They make money in Xbox Live and Games Pass. So if this isn't the last generation of Xbox, the next one certainly will be, because that's the way it's going. And I'm, as somebody who's like, oh, it'll never take off, blah, 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 and who now spends most of his time on his tablet, which I can actually play Xbox games on my fucking tablet. I think it's amazing. And, it's the future. And anything that doesn't give us too much plastics, anything that makes the lowers the barrier of entry, as I've said a million times before, is good. So bang up, good job, Microsoft. Microsoft obviously won the first part of E3. Now, I'm not going to talk that much. I'm not going to talk at all about Nintendo today. I will talk about it the next time because obviously time is tight. So let's talk about the next one. In fact, let's pause. Let's go straight to the chat room, see what's going on. Let's see. How would I rank E3? Let's get to that one at the end. Do you think there's any position for users to be annoyed by Microsoft taking large third-party games off the market for exclusivity, which is very different as to how... actually, that's not true. I mean, look, how are Microsoft taking third-party games? Who are they taking? Bethesda? Then that's not third-party. Wholly owned subsidiary of Microsoft. If you look at it, The Outer Worlds 2, Obsidian, wholly owned subsidiary of Microsoft Game Studios, Xbox, whatever you want to call it. Going back through that list, I don't see anything with regards to being an exclusive. Stalker 2, I don't think is an exclusive. Back 4 Blood, I know is not an exclusive. Contraband, I don't think is an exclusive. Let me see. Battlefield, we know is not an exclusive. Fallout 76, nope, not an exclusive. Hades is coming to PlayStation as well. Halo Infinite, obviously first party. Atomic Heart, I don't think it's an exclusive either. Replaced. I'm looking through this list. Redfall. I don't. That one is going to be an exclusive because it's another Bethesda joint. I really don't see. I don't see Jonathan. I mean, it's it's an interesting thing, but I don't see anything with regards to Microsoft pulling exclusives away from everybody else. They bought Bethesda. They could do with what they want. And don't forget, Deathloop is still coming to PlayStation in a couple of months' time. So that one will certainly happen. And that was interestingly not at the Xbox press conference. So I think that's interesting as well. But as moving forward, Skyrim, Fallout, all these games, unless they are like Fallout 76 and Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Online already on another console, they will not be coming to Sony and to Switch and stuff like that. And look, let's face it, we've with regards to console exclusivity, that's not necessarily Microsoft's choice to make. They can always say to publishers, and I know this because I've been in the room with Microsoft reps when we've talked about exclusivity and the benefits thereof. I've also been in the room with Sony and Nintendo when I've worked at publishers, and we've talked about these things. And it's always a case of what's the trade-off. Obviously, if we're taking these two consoles off the market, off the table, what's the worth in being PlayStation, Xbox, or Nintendo exclusive? And sometimes it's a huge incentive. Sometimes a lot of marketing behind it, a lot of push, a lot of fiscal support with regards to pushing through Xbox Live. And then that's up to the publishers to weigh up what do they want to do. Microsoft is certainly, in my experience, and Sony and Nintendo, in my experience, never went to anybody and said, if you don't make us an exclusive, we're not going to let you publish on our platform. No platform has ever done that when I've been in the room. And this was, best part of a decade ago, but I've never seen that happen before. So I don't think anybody can be pissed at Microsoft. We knew it was coming. The acquisitions showed that from the get-go. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's a very interesting point, but I just don't think that the whole Microsoft are just doing exclusives with their own stuff. I mean, Sony does Gran Turismo, that's an exclusive. Mario has their own exclusives. I mean, Bayonetta. I mean, what's the most recent one I've played on a Switch? Marvel Ultimate Alliance. That was an exclusive on the Switch, I think, but that was a third-party game. They're always going to happen, but yeah. Let me see. With Sword and Gun is a diehard Sony fan. And look, you got a great console. If you got a PS5, PS4 was great. It's my favorite console of the last generation. PS3 really came into its own, as I've said several times before, in the last 18 months of its life. And I've still got my PS4, PS3, PS4, and my busted ass Xbox. I mean, I've got to say, PS3 and PS4 launch models still working fine today. That's definitely something. But Sony has a lot going for it. But Sony will be a different model. Sony will be a different type of creature. And there's room for both. And if you want to play exclusives on the PlayStation, you're going to have to get PlayStation 5. So Jonathan then says, I mean, Starfield would have been on PlayStation. The studios, well, that's. I mean, it's difficult to say, So if they're buying studios that already make exclusives for them anyway, well, Microsoft's not doing anything wrong. Bethesda didn't need to sell to them, but ZeniMax didn't. Could have said, take your $6 or $8 billion and go whistle. We're still going to do stuff on the other consoles. And like I said, Microsoft are still honoring the agreements for the games that are coming to all platforms moving forward. But it's just a part of the whole logic of it. I mean, let's face it. If, for example, a show moves from NBC or the BBC to Netflix, and Netflix buys that show, then they own the show and it'll only appear on Netflix. That's just the state of the world. That's capitalism. That's IP property. And that's, Microsoft have been investing heavily and accruing content because they know content is king and variety is going to be king. And that is the way forward. And that's what's going to, that's the way the industry is going to go. And Sony needs to adapt or they're going to fall behind. they have the sexy console. They have some great looking games. I mean, the new Ratchet game looks great. Spider-Man Miles Morales looked great. I mean, they do have a sexy machine, and they just have to make sure they have the games for it. That's it. Let's see. Go back to the chat room. Okay, we're doing quite well, actually. Okay. Do I think Microsoft games will arrive on Nintendo systems? I don't think so. I don't think Microsoft needs to be on Nintendo. I think this is, again, we are in a different system as we were to what we were maybe a decade ago. A decade ago, we had 3 consoles kind of all scrabbling for the same thing. And then the Wii kind of changed things up. Nintendo are off in their own bubble, and it's a happy bubble. They keep their fans happy. They give them what they want over and over. And while some people like me don't exactly float my boat, there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. I would love Nintendo to be way more creative as opposed to just announcing a new Zelda, Mario, Smash Brothers, F-Zero, Pilot Wings, Metroid, over and over and over ad infinitum. I'd like to see new stuff from them, but I'm not their target market. And so they do what they do, and that's great. But Nintendo, we take Nintendo, we put them out, and we put them up over here because they're not part of the big mainstream gaming battle. They will always sell their consoles. They will always sell their games. Their fans will always be happy. And now we've got Sony and Microsoft. And now it's changed, as I said. Microsoft are moving up to be more ubiquitous. They want to be the VHS, if you will. Sony are in danger of becoming perhaps Betamax, which is over here, which is technically perhaps advanced, sexier stuff, but way more limited. Microsoft want to be all things to everybody. They want to give people options. That's why they're putting stuff in. And for the games companies, if you're already owned by Microsoft, it becomes a no-brainer. You're going to be out on Xbox and PC. If you are a third party, a smaller indie third party, you get more visibility. You drop on Games Pass, you get a nice chunk of change from Microsoft. I mean, they've got money to burn. I'm not saying Sony haven't. And look, I'm not counting out Sony. Sony will be back. Sony will have some great content and some great ideas, and we'll see what they have to do and what they announce over the coming months. I think this Christmas will be key for both systems in that they need to get the units out there. They need to get the restocks out there. The fact that it's still $1,100 or $1,200 here in the US on Amazon to get either a PS5 or an Xbox is ridiculous, obscene, and gross. And I think Amazon's part of the problem. They need to shut down these resellers, these scalpers, these touts, these fucking scumbags. Hate these people. So yes, once the console prices come down, I will.
Apologies. I couldn't hear what you said.
Well, there you go. She missed out. My Apple Watch decided to get all arsey. Shut up, will you, Siri? Yeah, so there you go. That's my thoughts. I think it's going to be an interesting Christmas, but I think Microsoft had a bang-up E3. I don't think Sony has really set the world on fire as yet, but I'm definitely not going to count them out. Only an idiot would count Sony out. They will be back, and they will have some other stuff. They didn't appear at E3. They'll have their State of the Union, State of the Play, State of the Underpants thing whenever that is coming up, and they'll announce more stuff, and everybody be, oh, Sony would have won E3 if they'd done this, but they're not at E3. They can't be saying they won E3. I don't like saying who won E3 anyway. Great job by Microsoft. That's all I got to say. Certainly better than days of yore where, yeah. All right. Will Sony compete with Game Pass in a meaningful way? Asks Zach7. Who knows? They may. Who knows what Sony are thinking? I don't know what Sony are thinking. If I knew what Sony was thinking, I'd be a gambling man, and then I would put bets on things and buy stock, and I would be sitting here in I'd have a camera crew around me, and it would be professionally edited as opposed to a lamp for my light and a Logitech webcam and my Yeti thing, and it would be all glorious, and I'd be writing scripts, and 17 times a week you'd have content for free because I'd be a billionaire. All right. Let's move on into let's talk about surprising part of E3 for me. and that was the Gearbox Showcase. Now, Randy Pitchford he's like gaming Marmite. You either love him or you hate him. Now, I like Marmite. Randy Pitchford, as a person, I don't know him that well. His public persona is not exactly effervescent in a good way. But they've made some great games. Aliens, Colonial Marines, notwithstanding. Borderlands 1 was so much fun. Borderlands 2, one of my favorite games of all time, Borderlands 2. Yes, there's a misstep with Boring Lands 3. It's too big, too unwieldy, just too easy to get sidetracked, no sense of flow. It's just a meandering hodgepodge for me that perhaps tries to do a little bit much. But then I looked at what they did last week, and first of all, Tribes of Midgard. Tribes of Midgard. Doesn't that sound good? Tribes of Midgard looks good, looks up my alley. It's that kind of cel-shaded again, but it's like an RTS resource mining game with combat. Yeah, it just ticks my boat. I am looking forward to Tribes of Midgard. Homeworld 3 is in production. I don't really care. Great for the old school Homeworld fans. I didn't really like Homeworld 1 and 2. More interested in Tribes of Midgard. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Now, that's the one that really, also surprised me, where I was like, okay, Tiny Tina, character from Borderlands, she's getting her own game. You get to fight dragons, ride dragons. What is this? Game of Thrones with Tiny Tina? That looks fun as well. Providing they don't go the overly, not ambitious, there's nothing wrong with too much ambition, but as long as it isn't too waffly, as long as it's a bit tight, a bit streamlined, that's 2 games right there I am very interested in and will be looking forward to getting more, reading more coverage on, watching more videos, and I might even buy them both. And then the Borderlands movie. Now, we all know video game movies have not been the greatest. For every Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie, the first one was good. Second one, Super Mario Brothers, Assassin's Creed, Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within. I mean, we could go through all of these, and I haven't even gotten to the likes of Dungeon Siege and Far Cry and the Uwe Boll classics. But Borderlands, the movie, I mean, Kevin Hart, Jamie Lee Curtis, Cate Blanchett, Oscar winner, double Oscar winner, Cate Blanchett, fresh off being Hela in Thor. I mean, she's just living her pop culture life right now. And I'm like, more power to you. I hope they pay you a shit ton of money. Kevin Hart, he's funny. He's a really good comedic actor. Now he's done his action chops with, was it CIA, the CIA movie with The Rock and in Jumanji. And I got to say, this is looking interesting. Eli Roth as a director. Very dark director. I'm interested to see how he's going to turn this. Is Borderlands going to be a horror game, a horror movie, a horror comedy? Who knows? But I got to say, it didn't show much, but craft alone, I'm intrigued. Wouldn't it be nice to have some great video game movies for a change? Love it. Fantastic. Who's dissing Sonic and Pikachu? Hey, I watched the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Wasn't actually that bad. Fair fucks. Thanks for the correction. Entertaining. Jim Carrey. What? And then Detective Pikachu. Watched it with my wife while stoned. Best way to do it. We were drunk and stoned, and we went to, because California is legal for CBD. And we went to the movies to watch it, and we ate a bunch of treats, and we were like, it's Ryan Reynolds' fucking Pikachu. And again, entertaining. So you know what? You're right. They've not been earth-shatteringly amazing, but they've actually been quite good games. So I sit corrected. The Werewolves Within. That's the other one on the Ubisoft one. I'll talk about Ubisoft in a minute. That's another one, but that looks very indie, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's got the AT&T lady in it from the AT&T commercials, who's awesome, by the way. So yes, they surprised me. They really did. So well done. Well done, Randy Pitchford and the Gearbox team. Okay, so let's look at Ubisoft Forward. Really? You can just call it a fucking Ubisoft. And this is my issue with Ubisoft. They have some good games. They have some interesting IP. But Ubisoft has become that cool kid in school who was just annoyingly cool. And I mean, in that, it's not bad to be a cool person and have some style and have something, but they just try too fucking hard in everything they do. They have some great content. Assassin's Creed, year in, year out. Far Cry 6 looks great. I'm down with the politics. I'm really looking forward to it. Watch the trailer. Sign me up. I will buy it. I'm there. Done. But then they just try to be, it's like they try too hard. It's like, you know, there's this earnestness to be, I don't know, it's really hard to put your finger on, but they are definitely too earnest for their own good in how they wanted, you know, just tick every fucking box. And I think dial it back a little, be a little more natural. They're French, it's tough. But yeah, I mean, first of all, let's look at Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora. That Avatar movie came out a while ago. Now, I know there's a couple of sequels coming from Jim Cameron. But this Frontiers of Pandora actually looks like the original Avatar movie. Random. I don't know. What do you think? Yeah. Mario and Rabbids. Far Cry 6. Far Cry 6 looks absolutely fantastic. And then the season pass. I mean, it's like, if you're going to have my money, I'm going to buy the game. And then the season pass will allow people to play as villains from previous games in the series. The season pass will also include the amazing Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. That is fucking gaming innovation. That is so fun and cool. And sign me up. You've got my money. I'll pay for a season pass. Thank you. What I don't need is all the other garbage that comes with it, where you just try too hard. Be chill. Werewolves Within, movie trailer and release date, June 25th, next week. IFC funded. Big step away from what we had with Assassin's Creed in particular, and that movie, and how much money they pissed away on that one. So we'll see how that goes. I'm guessing, you know, I'm not going to go to a theater anytime soon, so I will watch it on pay-per-view. I might anyway, see what the reviews are like. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the Siege of Paris. It's more Assassin's Creed. Just Dance 2022. Just Dance. Again, I'm old. Just call it Just Throw a Hip Out and we'll be good. And then we got Rainbow Six. Now, Rainbow Six Extraction is basically, they've taken Rainbow Six and Left 4 Dead it. They've looked at, Left 4 Dead's coming out. Back 4 Blood is coming out. What do we have that we can jump into this particular genre? We have Rainbow Six. And Rainbow Six is, no. It's not fucking Rainbow Six. I know Clancy's dead, so he can't veto anything anymore. I know you've got the gaming license in perpetuity, but just fucking no. Give us the Rainbow Six that we want. Give us the tax sims, that I want, because I'm a selfish bastard who lives in the past. Give me Rainbow Six and Rogue Spear. Give me the tax sims. Give me something that isn't another fucking bunch of cool kids playing a multiplayer game and talking to each other and saying, "Oh my God, I'm coming to get you. Oh, I'm down. Plumpy, please help me. Oh, I've been tied up. Oh, do you have any spare grenades?" I just don't need that. I want some quality Rainbow Six. I want John Clark. I want Ding Chavez. I want Rainbow. I want that multinational team, not any other iteration of Rainbow. The multinational original team. Make the game about the book. Remake Rainbow Six and Rogue Spear. Those are great games. Remake them. Not faffing it up and turning it into the fucking Mighty Morphing Flower Rangers with guns. Breathe. Yes, I want Splinter Cell back as well, but I'm terrified as to what they do with it. I really do. I mean, like I said, Far Cry, they do it great, blah, 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 but the Clancy stuff in particular, it's strayed so far from its source material. It's not even funny. Okay. Then there was the Riders Republic. Now, this is the one that should actually be something really fun and something that most people will be into. With the bikes and the snowboarding and the paragliding and everything. But this is, you watch that trailer. That trailer is so hip, so cool, so hipster, if you will. It practically wears its own fucking man bun, brews its own microbrew, and bakes its own sourdough loaves in the backyard while smoking its plant-based fake meat. And there's nothing wrong with all of those things individually. But when you feel like they're ticking every box just for the fucking sake of it, that's why I don't like Ubisoft. That's why they annoy me. And they shouldn't annoy me. They've got some great stuff, but there's just something that just gets under my fucking skin about them. Anyway, like I said, they got great games. Rocksmith, bing, bing, bing. It's back. Yeah. Anyway, hi, everybody. Hi, Playland. Hi, Stay Select. Hi, Rusted Bird. Everybody's in the house now. And then, yeah, so that's those. Okay, I've got like 10 minutes left before I have to run. Unfortunately, apologies for the truncation. I do have a meeting. It's a phone video thingy. I hope it's a phone thing, because if it's a video thing, I probably should actually put a shirt on. Ooh. Anyway, let's go on to the last presser that I'm going to talk about today. And look, I know there's a slew I haven't talked about yet, but their day will come very soon, I promise. Let's talk about Square Enix. All right, let's start off with the elephant in the room. Now, I have played Marvel's Avengers, and I wonder at times if I am too hard on the game. So much so that I'm playing it on PC again, taking my time, starting from the beginning, and giving it a run through. I still have the same issues that I have with it with regards to how they've gone about the voice talent, but that's an artistic choice that they made. Tis what it is. I don't like the engine. It's for a game that is combat driven. It's so unwieldy, and the delay with regards to, especially if you look at something like Mass Effect, which isn't perhaps as combat driven, but flows much better. The response times, trying to get combos together, even just doing something as, you try and open a box, you have to be pixel perfect. Now, when you're you're in a fight and the option comes up to do a combo, you have to move around one of the huge robot bad guys to try and get into place to do a combo. And it's like, why can't you be just there? So, yeah, I mean, it's got a great story. Kamala Khan is fantastic. I know all the other voice actors do their thing, but let's face it, if you've been raised or if you've been exposed to Marvel movies for the last 11 years, sorry, Tony Stark is Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth is Thor, blah, blah, blah. It would have been better to go to soundlikes. But anyway, that is what it is. I will compliment them on the amount of free content that they've been churning out ever since, which is great. I still think that their currency systems are asinine and obscene. And if I'm all for paying for a little extra for a couple of different outfits if I want to change up the outfits, but the prices are just obscene. You got different types of currency. It's all quite ridiculous. But anyway, I'm giving it a second chance. Still can't stand the engine. And so what do? They announce Guardians of the Galaxy in the same fucking engine. It's obviously the same thing. I know. I love the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. The first one in particular, one of my favorite of all time. And obviously they've gone the same way as they did with Avengers, and that's their thing. I just don't hold out much hope for it. Again, it looks the same way for something that's action-driven, that has the flight dynamics with, the rocket boots, and when you have Rocket and Groot together, and they're probably going to team up. And that engine is so clunky, and I realize, we've invested this engine, we've used it for Tomb Raider, we've used it for every single game since, we have to use it over and over and over. It doesn't fucking work. That forced just over one shoulder, trying to, the camera not quite following you, difficult to see attacks and feel attacks when they come. I'm not holding out much by way of hope. Even James Gunn is kind of like bemused by it. He looked at the trailer and he said, why the fuck is Groot holding a llama? because there is some sort of llama with orange hair. Yeah, in the trailer. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Avengers, War for Wakanda, they are bringing out more content, which is great. You've got to give them kudos on that. But it's still not the same goddamn engine. Maybe it's just me. Have you played it? What do you think about it? Tell me, people. Am I out of my head, off my rocker, out of my mind with regards to disliking this goddamn engine? Am I? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Please talk to me. Then Life is Strange has been updated and there's a new version coming. Babylon's Fall, don't even know what the hell that is. Life is Strange 2 Colors, Final Fantasy Origin, Final Fantasy Toilet. I think one of the worst things that ever happened in the games industry, this is just my opinion, was that Crystal Dynamics was acquired by Square Enix. I understand why. And people will say, but they saved Crystal Dynamics. We wouldn't have Tomb Raider if it wasn't for Square Enix. I think, unfortunately, given the choices I've seen in their games for the last couple of years, I would rather Square Enix had not bought them, had let things go. And, even with Outriders being one of my, favorite games for a while, I did play it, bought it, pre-ordered it, played it for a few weeks, and then haven't touched it since, really, to be honest with you, because I've been trying other things. And they're releasing new content for that, which is great. I just don't think that Square Enix, after all these years, really still knows how to make Western games, how to market Western games, how to run a Western game studio. I've always had this issue with them. You look at Pro Evo. Oh, sorry, that was Konami. But no, you look at anything that they've done with the Crystal Dynamics brand. And is it just me? Am I crazy again? Am I just saying, I think they're best at doing what they do, and they should focus on that, and they should sell Crystal Dynamics off. Sell it to Microsoft. Boom. I know they'll piss a lot of PlayStation fans off. But yeah, sell it to somebody. Let it go off on its own. That's what I just say. That's me. Deus Ex. I mean, that's another one that just... I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the engines. I don't know if there's interference from Japan. I don't know if there's maybe enough interference. Maybe there's not enough leadership. I don't know what's going on. But maybe it's, the fact that my understanding is that there's a lot of interference from the European office. This was the case a while ago, I got told. But, I'm just disappointed. Square Enix should divest itself of Crystal Dynamics, allow it to go its own way, or make it a wholly independent subsidiary and just say, off you go. And then just focus on making kick-ass Final Fantasy and, variants and games and everything else that they want to do within that milieu. Because on Song, they make the best games in that particular area, and the fans will be happy. And boom. It'd be great. Ricardo Estevez says, hello, hi. 40-year-old, why do you put that in inverted commas or parentheses or no, air quotes, whatever. Big fan of you. Where have I been? Oh my gosh. All right, well, I have 2 minutes left. I'm going to bring Ricardo up to where I've been. I have been sick. I had a huge heart attack 4 years ago, 2 in 24 hours, in fact. I died. I was down for 18 or so minutes. Wife saved my life. Took a year to recover from that. Started doing some consulting after that. Still had chest pains and issues that have been ongoing. And then a year and a month ago, I went into hospital, and let me just hide that. Here you go. That is part of the double bypass operation I went under last May. And since then, I've been doing good. My chest pain's gone. I still have some health issues, just, old and unfit, but I'm working on it. But, that's where I've been. I mean, it's been an interesting 4 years. We were foster parents. Then I died. Couldn't be foster parents anymore while I was recovering. all sorts of crazy shit. But I mean, on the whole, consulting is what I've been doing. I've been working on a bunch of working with a couple of different publishers, evaluating their games, offering feedback. Yeah, and so earlier this year, I decided to give this a try, and I'm enjoying it. It's fun to be able to talk to people, and everybody's mostly cool. Yeah, so I'm just doing this. It's nice to be able to talk to people, and it works as therapy as well. Because obviously, I talk about movies, I talk about video games, I talk about soccer, footy, politics occasionally. Get vaccinated. Yeah, so that's where I am, doing my own thing. Where it will take me, who knows? Who knows? As Doctor Who would say. Let's see. Ricardo, thank you very much. But yeah, I'm doing fine. There's a lot of people out there still doing really good stuff. I think, as I get older and you get older and a lot of us get older, I think one of the things that we are not catered to, or the people are not catering to, is this older gamer, because the people who were playing Mega Drive games in the 90s, who were in their teens, are now in their 40s. Or if they were playing them in their 20s, like what I was, they're now in their 50s. And that's something that's not being catered to. Everybody's like, oh, it's got to be for the kids. It's got to be streaming on YouTube, and they've got to play Fortnite, and they've got to play Minecraft. And look, I'm not dissing those games. Not my cup of tea. Not dissing them. Not tonight, anyway. But the media also doesn't really cater. I mean, Shane at Sifted does cater to people of my age and around this age group. But I think that's what I like to try and do. I mean, I don't try to, give any age group abuse unless they totally deserve it. And let's face it, middle-aged white guys, not exactly the sharpest tools in the shed when it comes to being nice and decent, to be honest with you. So try to rectify that. So that's what I try and do. I'm here to talk to old people about video games, tell young people to get off my lawn. And yeah, have some fun while I'm doing it. So, any chance of teaming up with Easy Allies? No. I mean, the Easy Allies team are doing amazing stuff. I think that what I'm doing here it works for me. If I teamed up with them, would I even be a fit? I mean, these guys work so hard, and they're doing such good stuff, and they have such a great fan base. I don't think they want anything to do with me, and I don't blame them. They're all lovely guys. I'm not saying it from a negative, oh, woe is me kind of thing. They're great people. Brandon, the entire team. I seriously love those guys. I will support them in any way I can till the end of time. So yeah, I get asked that a lot, but it's just not one of those things. I've never been on an Easy Ally show. And that, I think, just says it all. And it's no criticism. It's no criticism. There's no divine right for Brandon to call me up and say, hey, do you want to come on a show and talk? No, there's no need. There's no need. But I mean, if he said yes, if he did, yes, absolutely. I'd do anything to support them. But they're fantastic guys. Love them to bits. Shane has, obviously I've done some stuff with Sifted, done some interviews recently. He's still busting a gut and kicking ass. And he deserves all the support as well. He's obviously got PAX Show and a bunch of other stuff. So, yeah, that's just, I think, there is a market. I'm not going to say it's a niche. There's a hefty market of people out there who have time for the 80-hour games because their kids are grown up and they don't want to play online, and they do, play multiplayer games, and they want to hear about games without going, squee, this new particular Final Fantasy emoji is so cool, and I'm putting it on my love pillow. It's just not our cup of tea, man. So yeah, that's what I think I'm here to do. So, Death Clonic says, "What about that, guests? One day. I'm still trying to get the hang of this. To be honest with you, there's no intro sequence, there's no outro sequence, there's no music. This isn't like game trailers where I'd say I'm going to talk about this, this, and this, and somebody else would source all the video footage, and an amazing editor would drop it all in, and there'd be a theme tune and all that fun stuff. What do you think this is?" And look, I watch streamers and I watch people on YouTube and on Twitch, and everything they've got going is so professional and so clued in. And it's like, whoa, well done, you. Me, there's only so much this old brain can handle. So this is basically Drunk Uncle without the drink. I'm the uncle you get to see at Christmas or Thanksgiving. I'm not going to be racist. I'm not going to be sexist. I'm not going to be homophobic, transphobic, or any other one of those things. I will give you opinions that may piss you off, but they come honestly. I'm, on the whole, I'm kind of live and let live kind of guy. Yeah. Can I use the old intro? Hold on a second. Now, I don't know if this is going to work. Bear with me. I don't know if you caught that. There you go. I have the old intro right here. Unfortunately, it's got the Game Trailers logo on it. And that's the thing. I don't know what the situation is legally with Game Trailers because they were bought up by IGN. And IGN has my old content on their YouTube channels. Even though the work I did is not owned by IGN because it wasn't owned by Game Trailers. That's one of the reasons I didn't make a huge amount of money out of it. Annoyed Gamer is my IP. Annoyed Gamer is my Twitter. Annoyed Gamer is something I created. And so, yeah, any lawyers watching, can I get IGN to take down all the old Annoyed Gamer stuff so I can put it up on here? And then where do I stand with regards to intro sequences? But yeah, anyway. All right, I need to go. Sorry to run, but I have a meeting and I got to talk to somebody about some important stuff. Thank you for tuning in. Follow me on the Twitter. Give me a like on or a sub on the YouTube. Give me a like on the Twitch. Even though, like I said, I don't know how long Twitch is going to be around for me moving forward. I may just switch to YouTube. Be good. Have a great weekend. I will do some more stuff and talk about the rest of E3 next week. Maybe a one-off show towards the beginning of the week. Who knows? Have a good one. Be good to each other. Cheer on Wales against Italy on Sunday, please. Italy, outstanding team, cruising through the group. My boys, Wales, we're the minnows, we're the underdogs. Nation of 3 million people. Let's get through to the next round. And again, apologies to England fans, but wow, bad performance. And good luck to the Scots as well. Hope the Scots win on Saturday. Oh, sorry, in the next match. It would be lovely to see all the home nations go through, but enjoy your footy. Enjoy everything. I am out. Be good to each other. Thank you. Bye.